Hello everyone, this is Joy with Our Crazy World 609, and I just wanted to welcome you guys back to the channel. Sorry it's been about a month since I've posted anything. We've been very busy. I'll show a video when we were in the Smoky Mountains heading to our daughters in North Carolina this year. We didn't film anything when we were there with her, visiting with her and the kids and her husband, just because I don't want to put them out there. And my grandbabies are very young, and you know, my daughter works a lot, and we're just not gonna put them out there. But I do have a video that I will post. It's not very long. It's a pretty nice view that we had one morning when we were leaving a cabin we had rented there on our stop. Sorry about the squeaker. My Roddy, she's a brat, and she wants to play because it's finally beautiful again. The heat finally broke Saturday. We had a storm early morning, 3-4 o'clock, and boy did it make a difference. It was a little bit sticky Saturday, but then it got better Sunday, and it's been just absolutely gorgeous. So they're able to get out and play. I hope you guys all survived the heat and your pets are doing good and your whole family is fine. But I'm making this video today, and it's different than what I normally make. I've had to kind of really decide whether I wanted to do this, because I don't usually talk about politics. I've gotten more outgoing about it since the last elections, and what I've seen has been happening to our country with our current president, Biden. Just the corruption. I mean, not that there's not corruption on both sides and across the board in our government. I understand that, and I agree with that. No government's perfect. We've been having problems for decades, decades with corruption in the government. But I'm just going to talk about this. When we got back, I had to go grocery shopping, and my husband and I, we do pretty well, and we're by ourselves. We don't have a house payment. We paid our house off. We're completely renovating it, gutted it down. It's basically like we're building a brand new house in the inside. And if anybody's ever done that, you know how horrible it is. It's a long process. Okay, prices have went up. Lumber, building supplies, the stuff that you need, flooring, cabinets, countertops. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll adjust for it. We've had wildfires up north. We just got out of the COVID lockdowns. As nurses, we've just now been able to stop wearing masks at work. And I apologize if this is a longer video, but it's probably going to be. But I went to the grocery store, and I bargain shop. I always have. I haven't always had the money just to walk in and get what I want. I grew up poor. I mean, we're talking poor. But my parents made sure we always had what we needed. And we had a little extra sometimes out of 5 kids. They never broke $20,000 a year, even when I graduated high school when I was 18 years old. And I still had 4 siblings that were at home. My youngest sibling is 33. But just because they're poor, it didn't mean that they didn't have class, that they didn't work hard. They got up every day. They never gave up, and they worked a lot. My problem is a few different things. The cost of food. How is the cost of food so high right now? I mean, it's never been easy to eat healthy on a budget, because if you fall below that poverty line, or that extreme poverty line, and you don't qualify for assistance because you work, which is where my parents have always fallen, even with 5 children, by the way, because they own their home, because they own their vehicles, so they were punished. And they're the ones that are in the video. They're the older couple that you guys think look like Sanford and Sons and all of that. It's not. My dad has done construction, and what you're seeing, like the dump truck that's older, that's what he bought and he repaired and he fixed. And actually, that's not per se a dump truck. It is a old pickup truck And most people would consider it a classic and never bat an eye, because if you are Joe Blow and you make a couple $100,000 a year and you can have a side pet project, you can restore it. Well, that dump truck runs. He put a dump bed on it so he could do work, so he could work and make money. A lot of that stuff he was cleaning up from a job that he was getting rid of literally the day of the very first video that I posted from Neighbors from Hell. But I digress. Back on the subject. Our current government, the cost of food, cost of medication, unable to get medications. As a nurse, I deal with people that have pain every day, and I have worked hospital, ER, long-term care, assisted living. I currently went back to my calling of long-term care. I love it. Never thought I would. But I think about these people that this group that my family, you know, is seeing with my parents and my grandparents. And how are they going to get their medications? My dad was ran over by a pickup truck when he was late 20s, I believe. I was only like 8, 9 years old. And he was ran over, across his chest. Back then, x-rays weren't very good. He had fractures. They said, oh no, you're fine and go home. No, he fractured his vertebrae in his back. He found out, I don't know, probably about 10 years ago. He was having a lot of back problems. Went in, had a couple herniated discs and old fractures. My dad's not had surgery on it. He keeps working, kept working, but he takes medicine. He takes pain medicine. And at that, it's a lowest dose that you can get of pain medicine. And he only takes it maybe once, twice a day, max. I don't know, just as he needs it. But then you have people that have went and got pain medicine. And they've made stuff up. And they've managed to get it. Because pain, I'm not going to do like we would for medical school, that we do for medical school or nursing school or anything. So what pain is actually part of your vital signs or how a person is doing. So when they check your blood pressure, your pulse, your heart rate, your oxygen level, and they ask you if you're having any pain, and they give you a level, 0 being none, 10 being absolutely excruciating pain, you can't tolerate it. If you say you're a 10, yeah, that scale says you should be crying. I think now they've got X's over your eyes, you're dead pretty well. Even use the analogy that it's like a shark eating your leg off at 10. But if a person goes in and they say, I'm a 10, they treat them for it. Of course, now it's gotten a little bit stricter, but they give you pain medicine. Okay? So if it's somebody who has a problem already that's been using illegal substances, I can think of a handful of people right off the top of my head that actually go and they get theirs, and for a while they were going to other states up until recently and getting it, and then coming back to this state where we live and getting it, and then they sell it. They sell it. That tells me that they really aren't having that pain. And a lot of those people got disability when it like opened up, and you can go in and say, well, I have back pain and I can't do nothing about my back pain, and it just isn't getting any better, and everything that we've done doesn't do it. And then they're like, well, we don't see anything, but we'll do surgery anyway, because there was that time. There was a time that happened. And then they get disability and they live off of the system. They get food stamps, they get help, and that's wrong. And in the meantime, they're still selling their pain pills, but they can travel and they work for cash money, and it pisses me off, frankly. And I feel like after COVID and the Biden administration took office, they did away with jobs by shutting down the pipeline that was going to help our economy. Believe me, I understand green. I understand doing what's best for the earth. I understand that we have destroyed it for decades and that we do need to give back. There are ways to do things. I know lots of people that lost jobs and potential jobs from that pipeline and other projects pertaining to it. it really hit our country hard. Who goes into office without paying attention, really looking at anything, and just signs papers and says, we're doing away with this, we're doing away with this, we're doing away with this? That's somebody that doesn't care, who has an agenda, and it's not about us, who we are paying. Our tax dollars go to pay the salary of our senators, our Congress, all of it, the House, every person that's in our government, the president. We pay them, okay? We pay them with our tax dollars. So all of us that go to work every day and have worked hard, your money that you're paying the IRS is going to that. Now it's going overseas. We're going to build a wall in Jordan. We're going to assist Jordan in building a wall between them and Syria, where we still have a crisis here. At least 10,000 illegal immigrants are, well, I guess, I don't even know what to call them anymore, but they were coming across our southern border. Do I believe in immigration? Yes. We wouldn't be here if we didn't believe in immigration. Go on, Harmony. Sorry. But there is a way to do it. I know lots of people who have immigrated from different countries all over the world, and they did it right, and they're angry because this is bullshit. Harmony May, quit. Sorry. She wants attention. Okay, let me get back on top. So, now that Florida and the other border states, a lot of those, Texas, their governors have said, we're not taking them. We're not taking them. You send them to the Democratic states and cities that are wanting this, that have pushed for this, that have bypassed everything, that don't care about our state. They just want to shove people in here, and why, I don't really understand what is behind that, but it can't be good for us. And now it's becoming a problem for their states. New York City, Massachusetts, seen something there where they're having problems now, and they're saying no. Illinois, Chicago, you know, they're having issues now, and they don't want them. I don't want them here. You know, there's jobs, but there's also a lot of people who never went back to work after COVID that need to go back to work. They found it easier to live off the system. Or the ones that had to go to work before COVID and had jobs because things were kind of cinching down, and they were being told, no, we're not going to give you welfare. We're not going to pay for your children that you keep having. We're not going to pay for your groceries every month because you don't want to work. Welfare is not a way of life like it has become for a lot of people. It's an assistance. Now, with that said, I know people that have had to have food stamps. They've had to have Section 8 housing. They've had to have assistance, but they work. They do their best. And then they have to be careful how much they make, because it may bounce them out, and then they can't feed their families because they're working, but it's not enough because of the inflation. Because of the inflation that we have right now in our country, that when you go to buy a gallon of milk, it's $4, $5, $6, $10, depending on where you live and where you go. I mean, this is ridiculous. Harmony, here. Go over there. But it's not right. And it's not about them coming and taking jobs, but it is about them starving and sleeping on the street. And, you know, as far as these people that are coming across our southern border, that they're not being medically checked. We are starting to see a rise in tuberculosis again. And if some of you don't understand what tuberculosis is, it's TB. And we had a problem with it. You know, I don't know, what was it? I can't remember the dates immediately, but it was rampant in the United States, pretty well all over the world. And we don't want that. You do not want TB. We're starting to see an increase in measles, mumps, because people are unvaccinated. I understand that there's anti-vaxxers out there. You guys don't want to hear about people being vaccinated. I understand. That is your choice. But it's not my choice. It's not my family's choice to be exposed, potentially, to that. And yes, we're vaccinated completely from being small all the way up. But those vaccines, they're to help prevent it. But I don't think people understand what this does to our health system that's already beyond stressed. I don't think you guys understand that our health system is breaking drastically. It is cracked deeply in so many areas, and it's been an issue for decades, and it's gotten worse. There's not enough nurses. There's not enough doctors. There's not enough receptionists, CNAs, techs, whatever you want to call healthcare workers. They're not coming back to healthcare. Why would they? I mean, I've contemplated walking away. Why do I want to go to work and be treated terribly? I mean, it was, we are nurses, CNAs, we're hit, we're kicked, we're bit, pinched, thrown, shoved. I mean, it's not okay. If you were out on the street, or we can say your neighbor came over, and you're working in your yard and they came over and just punched you, bit you, threw you on the ground, they would go to jail. You could press charges. We are not allowed. Most places will not. Do we have to put up with it? Yeah, unfortunately. Is it okay? No, that's not a norm. That's not okay. Nor, we haven't even got into the fact of sexual harassment from patients. But we'll talk about that later. The health system's part of this crazy government crap. It's just one of the faucets that I'm really pissed about because it's declined so bad. So, the other thing is food prices. I kind of touched on that. I went to the store and I bought groceries. Like I said, I'm a bargain shopper, coupon user, sign up for the rewards, all of that. And I get in there and I check out $260. And you have a cart full. It used to be $260. I would have my cart overflowing. Now, mind you, that's not even toilet paper, dish soap. I mean, that's just a few produce items, some meat. Yeah, meat's expensive. It's always been expensive for the most part, but god dang. And just a few things. Now, that was my first shopping trip. The second one, I went to another place that I usually go. It's cheaper. Another $200. It was a dollar store. They have produce. They have a few things there. But there's things that I get there that are always cheaper. It doesn't matter. I mean, I got it cheaper than I would have at the grocery. But I also had to get laundry soap and, dishwasher detergent and toilet paper and different things like that. And that stuff is expensive. It's really went up. Our prices are continuing to climb. Again, like I said, my husband and I, it's just me and him and our crazy dog. And it's getting to the point where, holy crap, are we going to have to take second jobs? What are we going to have to do? We've stopped doing the work on the house right now, partially because we've been gone most of the summer. And it was so brutally hot last week. Had to do with that, but we're going to pick that back up here this next coming month in September. All right, now I'm just going to touch on the corruption in the White House, just the White House. Since when have we ever had cocaine in our White House and nobody knows who it belongs to? No real answers. We know who it belongs to. Hunter lives in the damn White House. We know it's his blow. I mean, come on. We're not stupid people. And if you don't believe that, I'm sorry, but there's something maybe wrong with you mentally. I mean, even if I liked them, I mean, I would even be like, what the heck are you thinking? He needs out of there. Then we have to talk about the possibility of I'm going to say possibility, although I believe it's true, the money that Joe Biden has gotten from China, from the Ukraine, And why in the hell are we sending money to the Ukraine still? Why are we sending hundreds of millions of dollars to Ukraine and Jordan of our taxpayer dollars? Why? And we're planning on doing more. When we have people that are going hungry, that are living on the street, that are American citizens, we have veterans that, have mental illnesses, we have veterans that have injuries. That money could go to VAs to help our veterans. I'm sorry, I'm a huge military supporter. We are a military family. We have boots that live outside our door, and I can tell you that right now. As far as the flagpole in my parents' yard, it has a Marine flag because we have Marines in our family. We have 2 of them, and both of them are veterans. Now, let's talk more about Joe. So, the shooting in Tennessee. He goes down and talks about damn ice cream. When do you ever... It's like going to a funeral and telling jokes and talking... what is that? That's horrible. That is horrible. That's deplorable. Then he goes to Maui. And those flyers, I'm sorry, that is very suspicious. Because guess what? There was a bill passed saying that any land that was damaged from a natural disaster, the U.S. government can come in and take over. No. And I don't know, this may not be true. I've seen different things, read different things. You can do your own research on everything. And I apologize if anything's wrong, and I'm sure people are going to tell me all about myself in the comments if they don't agree. But there were people with bullet holes in them, found burned, children missing, people having to crawl into the ocean to get out of the fire, and nobody coming to rescue them. There's something wrong. There's something really wrong with our country. Now, I'm going to touch on the person that nobody that's a Democrat likes. I understand. I wasn't sure about him either when I voted for him back in 2016. But I was very impressed with him. I support Donald Trump. There, you have it. Will I vote for him again in 2024? If he runs again? If he gets to run again? Yeah, I will. But when our government goes after somebody, an ex-president, which has never happened in history, ever in history, like that they have, the Democratic government, where they destroy and delete documents on the insurrection of January 6th. Let me tell you what. I don't believe that there was an insurrection. I do not. I think that people were there in the Capitol building. I'm sorry, I've been to DC. I've been to the Capitol myself. It is open to the public. You cannot keep the public out. Those people did not have weapons. They didn't start out violent. And then people died. The people that died, that were shot, were literally those people that were protesting. Did they do some damage? Probably. Should they have? No. Because you always have a couple bad apples in the tree. It don't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You can have 100 people. You can have 10 people. You'll have at least one, depending on the number. At least one person that's got an agenda. Well, was that person really on the Republican side, or was that a plant? I mean, you guys, I know it's conspiracy theory. Can't even talk. I'm so pissed. I don't know. Who knows? That's just my opinion. You guys have yours. But when you go after somebody and you press charges against them, you have to have some evidence. And you're supposed to have solid evidence. If not, why are you pressing charges? Why are you going through all of that? Because you're going to lose. So, New York, we have that. Then we have this one. Then we have that. And then we're raiding this man's house. And this is Trump, Donald Trump. and say, oh, he's got all these documents, these classified documents. Okay, well, I got news for you. They found a shit more ton for Joe Biden in a basement, in his old office, unlocked, in cabinets, not even put up, not even secured. Okay? Let's just be honest. That idiot in office right now, Joe Biden, has literally had slipped when doing speeches, and no, he does not have a fucking speech impediment. He's an Alzheimer's dementia patient that should not be in office, but should be in a geriatric lockdown unit because he is not safe. He's not safe for himself. He's not safe for those around him. But when he, talks about how he's done, drugs. Hey, you two. Hold on. Hey, Harmony, come. She's bothering her sister. They're all right. They're not fighting. They're just being pissy. You stop. Harmony. Hold on. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I had to just go put them up. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. Roddy's being a pain in the butt today. She's just overexcited and hyper. But anyway, when we have a president that is too busy hiding stuff, and then he doesn't even care to hide what he's done now. I mean, it's just blatant. It's blatant. He can't answer where the money came from. Hunter Biden can't answer where the money came from. I'm sorry. He is a drug addict. He's not been worth a crap. And this is Hunter. And he has gotten away with stuff because his dad has shielded him and protected him. But then his dad, Joe Biden, goes on and says, it looks like we got a sheriff. Something happened. But then he goes on to, lie about the fire when he went to Maui. Oh my God, really? The fire in your home, that you were worried was going to kill your cat and take out your 78 fucking Corvette. Really? While you were in Washington, D.C. And it was a small nothing. They had it done. Jill was home. She took care of it. Not a problem. I understand fires are traumatic. I understand they're dangerous. But that does not compare to what happened to the people of Hawaii, to Maui. Not even a little bit. And that should not be okay. We should not, as American people, accept our leader of our country to go and say the things he does. My God, there's so much that he has said and done. And he is an embarrassment to us. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't vote for it. You want to say something? I hear Democrats all the time. Trump ain't my president. Trump's not my president. That orange man, that loudmouth. Okay, well, what did he do wrong? He secured our borders. He gave us more money back on our paychecks from taxes. He lowered interest rates so people could afford stuff. He brought more jobs. He lowered fuel cost. He made it where America was first again. I don't see that. I see now things are all going back to before and worse than what they were before the Trump administration was in office. Gas prices are back up. Crazy. Groceries are through the roof. I'm waiting for our taxes to be hiked up again for our paychecks, because we don't get taxed enough. We get taxed on our pay for state and federal, goes to the IRS. Then every year we have to file our taxes, and then we get taxed again if we didn't pay enough. Okay, well, that's a little bit of double dipping, I do believe. In the healthcare field, if you double dipped and you were a facility, you lost your licensure. And I'm going to tell you what, I've dealt with the IRS before. It don't matter. You can send stuff all you want. You can be in the right. And you'll have to still pay it. In the meantime, they'll drag their feet until it's paid. And then they send you a letter and say, we have reviewed your information for your case, and you're either found owing, or in my case, I was found not owing. Okay. I ain't seen a dime of that money back. Never. Never. Will I? No, because they're not going to send it back. I don't know. I just feel like things are really sad for us right now. We have a president that's really overstepping. I'm going to be be honest, Obama, he overstepped by getting into health care. The Obamacare, it's a joke, people. It's a joke. Unless you make a really low amount of money, it's a joke. And that's pretty well traditional Medicaid by that point in time for those people, or just a tier above it so they can afford it. I understand that. But government ran healthcare is dangerous too. That's where people who can't afford $4 for a medication because they're on a fixed income and they're not doing well. I mean, I've worked a doctor's office and stuff, and us girls literally working in the office before paid for patients' medications that was life-saving. And I mean, these people would have died within the day or two because they were so sick and they needed that medication, but they could not afford it, but they had to have it. I mean, what do? I don't know. Maybe this is just all a rant and nothing makes any sense, and I'm sorry. It's just, there's so much, and it's so overwhelming that we are going through this in 2023, and that 2024 does not look any better. It's a sad time. You know, it's a very sad time for all of us. I'm even sadder that people would much rather bury their head in the sand. And they're like, I am this political party and I am only this political party and this is all I believe and I don't care because that one's a Republican and I'm a Democrat, or he's an independent and I'm a Democrat, or I'm a Republican and that's an independent and that's a Democrat. You can't do that. I mean, believe me, I understand. I kind of am starting to feel that way. I'm like, maybe I'm just straight Republican anymore and I just don't care. But I mean, I do try to be fair. I do my own research, I look things up. I don't believe everything that everybody says. You guys don't have to believe anything that I say. It's a little long-winded, I know, this whole video. But in the end, we have to make a decision coming up next year on what we're going to do based on who we have available to vote for. And this stuff that I keep hearing about, our votes don't count, our votes don't count. Maybe they don't. I've heard that for my whole life. I'm 47. I don't know why you go and vote. Your vote don't count. Well, when you get enough votes, I mean, they do count. And then if one party gets, we'll say 250,000 or 250 million votes, and the other party does not, they get 50 million, and they win, then we know there's some corruption. I've seen stuff on TikTok and different places and about militias, which we have the right to have because it's part of our constitutional rights as American citizens. We can form a militia. And I've seen where militias are forming because people are worried. I'm a gun owner. I went and got a gun permit. I buy mine legally. I don't shoot people. I don't kill people. I keep mine locked up. I hunt. My husband hunts. My family, we hunt. We're country people. That's our food. Sometimes we hunt, we fish. And we want to protect our homes. And sometimes I've went places that are really, really bad places because that's where my job took me. And there's bad people out there. There's murders, shootings, stabbings. Let me tell you what, the people that are doing that, they're not going and buying their weapons. They don't have gun permits. Even if it's an open carry state, they're not doing the background check. A lot of them are criminals already, or have been in and out of trouble with just maybe a little misdemeanors, not seeing time. Are all of them bad people? Probably not, but I'm gonna tell you what, when you go and shoot somebody because they pissed you off, or it's not in self-defense, or it's not to hunt an animal that's gonna feed your family, something needs to be done about that. Maybe when people have violence that, causes murder from a weapon, a gun, or a knife, and they have intentionally killed somebody, maybe we need to have stricter laws on them and punishments. And then I'm going to touch on one more thing and then I'm done. So I have a concern about the rising number of people, women, children especially, or vulnerable people, who are taken every day, every minute around the world and here in the United States for sex trafficking. You know, we remember the Epstein stuff. We remember that. But what happened to any of that? It just fell off. It went away. Yes, I know Trump was seen with Epstein. Okay, if it's the case, then why are we not looking further into Epstein to see if there's a connection there? Joe Biden saw him too. He used to go out there and party with him too. A lot of people did. Now, does that mean that they were actually, you know, indulging in human trafficking and whatever else that he was doing out there? No, that doesn't mean it. I mean, people can have associations. You can live with somebody your whole life and they be a monster, but they hide it well. Psychopaths do it all the time. Sociopaths, they learn from people, but they have no feeling. They know the right answers, and they're so convincing that they're, you know, feeling these emotions or the horror of something. But it's time for us to wake up, people. It's time to wake up. If you have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, what are we doing for them? And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on the transgender stuff that's going around for the schools. I have nothing against gays, lesbians, people that want to be trees. I don't care. You do you. If you want to have a sex change, you do you. But I do have a problem if we push it on our children at young age. It should not be in schools. We do sex education in schools, but our private sex lives as adults should not be pressed onto our children. Should we educate our children as parents? Yeah, we should. I had sex talks. I got my kids on birth control. If they had a problem, they could come to me. I did not, it was fine. If they thought that they maybe messed up and they were pregnant, we went and got a pregnancy test. I went and bought them. I went and bought condoms. I went and got their birth control. That's okay. Was I condoning it? No. Did I understand that it was going to happen? Yeah. So I was protecting my children. But what we're doing now is not protecting our children. We are heading down a bad road. A really bad road right now. And it's time for people to stand up. I understand a lot of us have been quiet about things. I have. And when people, I've talked political views and they've yelled and screamed but not really had a good reason, I've backed off because I just didn't want the confrontation. Now, I'm not one to run from confrontation, but it's not that important to me because I have my belief system. And I'm not no Bible thumping, I'm not. But we have to answer for the things that we do in life. Everything that we choose and decision we make, we answer for in this life. It affects us either now, tomorrow, 10 years down the road. Maybe it affects your children, your spouse, and you don't, from the time that you make that decision, that choice, you don't think about it. But we got to start thinking, and we need to stand up. So that's about the end of this. I'll have this video out today. It's Monday, August the 28th. So I'm going to go edit this, get it uploaded. I've got some housekeeping to do, things to get unpacked, and since we got back from vacation a couple weeks back, and I've got to work this week, night shift. But I'll get this up tonight. I'll edit the other video, and I'll put it out probably tomorrow night when I'm at work or after work. And I'll see you guys next video. You guys have a good day.